Red One, the Christmas movie that has to make $750 million to break even. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it can't be done. At least not with this Christmas movie. But is Red One the worst movie of 2024? Is it the worst Christmas movie ever? Is Chris Evans just doing his best Paul Rudd impression? Let's find out. Red One stars J.K. Simmons as Santa Claus, aka Red One, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as his head of security with a name only a screenwriter would come up with, Callum Drift, and Chris Evans as international finder of people, Jack O'Malley, which sounds pretty darn Irish to me. Jack is a deadbeat dad, has a gambling addiction, and carries around a flask full of booze. I don't know what they're trying to say about Irish people here, but nailed it. Just kidding. I'm only joking. And if you haven't been able to tell, I'm Irish, so I get to make that joke. Anyway, on Christmas Eve, Callum "The Rock" Drift is handing in his letter of resignation to Santa Claus after hundreds of years of service because he's just not seeing it anymore. Immediately following this, Santa gets kidnapped by some bad guys that Jack O'Malley had been working for, unwittingly. Jack didn't know that the person that he was hired to find was Santa Claus. That's how good this guy is. He found Santa. So Callum Drift and Red Force Director of Operations Zoe Harlow, played by Lucy Liu, connect Jack to the kidnapping and pull him in for questioning. After a little bit of friction between Jack and Callum, they decide to work together to track down old Saint Nick. And hilarity ensues as along the way they encounter snowmen on a beach, an 11-year-old girl boss villain, and Krampus. Okay, so this initial premise actually sounds kind of intriguing, but then after the rest of the movie, you know what I noticed has not been missing from Christmas movies this whole time? A whole bunch of sci-fi technology and militaristic international espionage mumbo-jumbo gobbledygook. Talk about draining the magic out of Christmas. Santa literally has escort fighter jets for his sleigh. And not only is Santa not fat, dude's like shoulder pressing with 4 plates on either side. So, and at the shopping mall that they visit so Santa can sit amongst the people and have the kids sit on his lap, The Rock is treating him like he's some sort of like emperor or something. Like he stands in front of him and he's so officious. He's so like militaristic. You want to bring Santa cookies? I don't fucking think so. And all this, it's very off-putting, like consciously and subconsciously. It's like, I don't get it. Like in this world, are people always trying to just like get at Santa? Like they're trying to like kill Santa? Is he under that much of a constant threat that they need Callum "The Rock" Drift to be standing in front of him and walking him around like he's a bodyguard? This kind of stuff is cute in small doses, like it was done like 30 years ago with the elves in the Santa Claus. But when it's the main basis behind like every decision in the movie, it's a little hard to jive. Like my brain just resists the idea that Santa would even need all of this security in the first place, or security at all. And then there's all of this technology. There's like, the Ant-Man thing that makes things grow and then shrink down. There's like armbands that do stuff. It's like Men in Black in some ways. And they use the technology to explain everything. Like even like the present delivery system, like how does Santa get around the world and visit all the kids' houses in one night? This is how they explain it. Not with magic, but with technological gadgets and a healthy sense of urgency. Like it just drained all of the mysticism out of the story of Christmas. It's not all bad, though. There are a lot of things to like, actually, here. The Krampus scenes are actually kind of funny. The guy who played Krampus is really good. The kid who played Jack's son, I thought was really pretty good, too. And there was probably a better movie in there if they had focused more on that emotional aspect of the story than some of the other things that they actually did focus on. Chris Evans, I actually kind of liked what he was doing here, too. I like the energy that he was bringing. I don't hate Chris Evans. I don't think Chris Evans is bad. It seems like for Chris Evans, there is a disconnect between what he has to offer a project and what the project requires. A good match for that was Knives Out back in 2019. What he brought to that role was spot on, and it was what that role needed. So it'd be cool to see Chris Evans devote his energy towards better projects. And the guy, Jack O'Malley, Chris Evans's character, he seems to be apparently from like Queens or the Bronx, maybe, but like only every other sentence. Yeah, hey, yo, wait, whoa, come on, what's going on here? So, what do you think we should do? So he's basically just plain flawed but likable guy. The character actually is pretty similar to Scott Lang from Ant-Man. And Evans does seem to be channeling a little bit of Paul Rudd here, which, that's fine. Paul Rudd's a fun, likable presence on screen. For a Christmas movie, the emotional impact here is pretty lightweight, which is not surprising. It would have been nice to be surprised and have a little bit more heart going on here, but they either just didn't go that route or they tried and it didn't happen. The big emotional, dramatic nexus here is, well, for Jack O'Malley's character, it's that he doesn't believe in Christmas, never has, as we see in a flashback from when he was a kid. He doesn't believe in Christmas, and he doesn't believe in himself enough to believe that he can be a good dad for his son, so he pushes him away. Now, Callum, the Rock Drift, he doesn't believe in the goodness of humanity anymore because he's not seeing it anymore. And he doesn't believe that he can be good for Santa Claus, so he's pushing him away, which is actually a kind of a nice parallel between these two characters. Again, it just wasn't mind emotionally too deep. A lot of this stuff is pretty surface level stuff. It's kind of sweet, but that's about as heavy as we're going to get. The best example of missed opportunities, I think, with this movie here is that fittingly, like poetically, they have right in the middle of the North Pole complex. And by the way, the North Pole is a complex now. It's under a dome, first of all. It's this huge metropolis that's like a mix between like the dark cartooniness of Joel Schumacher's Batman Forever's Gotham City and like Candyland. It's kind of bizarre. It's not very welcoming, I gotta say, but right in the middle of it is Santa's original workshop, like the little log cabin workshop and house. And next to it is a sign that reads, "Where it all began," or "Where it all started." And at one point, Callum is looking at this thing, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, cool. So what they're going to do is they're going to be some kind of story arc where they bring it back around, and either Callum or Santa has to like remember what it is that Christmas is like really about before it became so like corporatized, which is visually represented in this North Pole complex dome. But they don't do that. They just show you this little workshop, and we all recognize it because it looks like what we think of when we see Santa's workshop, but they don't bring it back around to it. Like a lot of aspects of Christmas and holiday season that we see these days out in the real world, the movie just ignores the true meaning of Christmas. So in a way, this might be the most Christmassy Christmas movie ever. So is that a recommendation for Red One? I don't think I can, not in good conscience, tell anybody to go spend money on the over 2 hours that is Red One, even though it feels like they still cut some stuff out of the ending. This movie could have been a lot longer. You know what? I take that back. Mini Rock. There's a mini me Rock that might be worth the price of admission alone. See, The Rock, as part of his fighting style, he has this thing where he clicks his heels together and he shrinks down. And that way he can like run under people's legs and then turn around, click his heels again. And then as he grows back up, he punches them in the face. I'm pretty sure these people are Marvel fans. It was there were more than one things that made me think of Ant-Man in this movie. But those are my thoughts on Red One. Have you seen it? Are you gonna see it? Are you definitely going to skip it? Is this going to become a regular holiday tradition for you? You're going to do like Christmas Story, Scrooged, Red One, like a marathon? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, algorithm.